Dane, stop riding the perfect man. Brok has to kill him now.
Aw, can't we keep him?
Yeah, Dad, can't we? We'll feed the perfect man and clean up after him and everything. Super swear, please.
No, he's an abomination. Go ahead, Brok.
Hi, welcome to Venture Bros, Venture Bros podcast. I'm your host, as always, Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Graham Cracker Mason.
Hello.
And
I
Nick,
eat crackers.
You hate crackers?
I said I eat crackers, but yeah. I actually do kind of hate graham crackers. The regular ones.
Why?
They're just the worst. They're stupid and terrible. And
How are they stupid? What the fuck does that even mean?
They're dumb. Have you ever talked to one or have tried to have a conversation with one?
Fair point. I've only just eaten them. I've never actually talked to them.
Yeah, so they're dumb. But the chocolate ones are pretty good, so I'll give them those.
What about the cinnamon ones? Those were always my favorite.
Cinnamon's okay. But like the regular, just like honey one, just why?
I mean, you are supposed to eat them instead of masturbating. Science, look them up. We also have Nick Oreo Olas Freidemann.
I also hate graham crackers.
Thank you. Thank you for the support.
No problem. Outside of crust, they are useless, tasteless cardboard masquerading as food.
Yep.
Taking a real hard stance against graham crackers.
Yeah. I mean, you can use them, like, to hold stuff, like s'mores. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, you know what nobody says about s'mores? My favorite part is the graham cracker.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone boldly declare their favorite part of a s'more.
Because it's obviously the marshmallow.
I'd say it's obviously the chocolate. See, this is why nobody does this.
But still, that's fine. Chocolate or marshmallow, that's totally acceptable.
You know what? Fuck it.
Graham
Mine's
cracker.
the graham cracker.
No.
I love the graham cracker.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
We know this is a lie.
I'd say prove it, but you can't. So prove it. I did say it. There we are. And this is where this episode has gone. To a graham cracker hole. Alright, we should get started talking about the episode of the day, which is Escape... I'm forgetting the full title again. Fuck. Escape to the House of Mummies Part 2. Correct?
Yeah.
I always
Yes.
said Return to the House of Mummies. I don't know why, but that's always just kind of where my head went.
I think that might... yeah, I don't know. That might be part 3.
I thought it was
No,
just...
part 3 is the robot cannon.
Yeah. We should just get started. That's going to be the easy way to do this. I'm just trying to think of, like, how do I even segue into this? You don't. Especially with this episode. So, Nick, I think you did last week. Graham, do you want to tell us everything that happens in this episode really quick?
Sure. Everything that happens?
Yeah, do the best you can.
Yeah, really, honestly, broad stroke it. There's
That's with this episode, I think that's really kind of what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what they did in the episode. All right. So the recap is of part 1. The Venture family is caught by the Cult of Osiris, and they're created a time machine to go back and, pyramids and all of this crazy stuff to destroy the world or whatever, supervillain people do nowadays. Then Dr. Venture, by the help of Dr. Orpheus, escapes their torture room, and then once he finally gets back to the Venture compound, is trying to gather a bunch of tools and stuff like that to get back and save his family. Unfortunately, he and Dr. Orpheus get into an argument of which is better, magic or science. And so, of course, they have to prove this right now. And so they challenge each other to be the smallest that they can be, one using science and the other using magic. And so to come back at 8 p.m. that night and try to be the smallest man is the biggest man. And so Dr. Venture goes and recruits Pete White and Billy Quizboy, and then Dr. Orpheus goes to his master to get more information and all of that. Meanwhile, back in the House of Mummies. Everything is going terribly wrong, but Brok is somehow managing to get stuff done.
Well, because there's two of them.
There's two of them, and then they find Edgar Allan Poe, and they kind of just grind for like 25 minutes. Pretty awesome. And then there's a part 3, and so there we go.
Which I kind of wish we'd see at some point, but I understand that's not the way this show works.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the end of this episode has a great moment of, the entry to part 3, but yeah. I kind of wish we saw part 1 too.
Yeah, part 1 looked insane, and like there's no way you could only get that much stuff in 22 minutes. But that's okay.
Yeah.
I've got a question. I've got a question about part 1.
Oh shoot.
It makes no sense, right? Like there's tons of continuity problems, or is this just me?
I mean, that's part of the joke, I think.
Yes. Okay. I just wanted to clarify because for some reason it never stood out to me until I was watching it, and I was like, wait, this doesn't make any sense at all. Like, this isn't even, like, a recap. These are, like, just disparate, funny scenes, which makes sense, but, like, clearly that this is just the joke, that it has no rhyme or reason for the scenes that it has.
But you could make the same argument throughout the episode. Whenever we cut back to them in the pyramid, it's like, what the fuck is happening?
Well, I think that's because they're using a time machine, and that's why it creates its own paradoxes. So
that makes sense.
I think on the episode's chronology, it makes sense, but out of like the segments and moments that we are shown, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense. Because they have the thing that stood out to me as being very weird was they were like, we're gonna have to kill the perfect man, and then like a few scenes or a few bits montage-wise later, there's the perfect man again, and you're just like, what the fuck is happening? But it's great. I just never occurred to me until I was watching it with like a critical eye to like look for stuff, and I was like, I can't make heads or tails of this anymore. Like when I turned my brain off and just watched it, it was great. But now that I'm trying to think about it, I just don't know what's happening.
I love the idea.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like if Jackson Public and Doc Hammer were to listen to this episode and go, he tried to figure out what was going on. Like, why?
I really did. I don't know.
I'm just imagining Nick in his apartment, just like with little pictures and scenes and like red yarn and pins and stuff. You're like, man, if this went to here and then where's the perfect man now? It just doesn't make sense.
Ooh, you were so close. Instead of packing, this is what I was doing.
But what's the hot take around the table? Do we like this one?
I love it. I think it's great.
Nick?
Yeah, I really love it. This is I think the first episode that I watched that really, it confused me because I had the DVDs and I was like, did I skip an episode? Like what?
I still do that.
Yeah. And
did I skip one? And it seems like I missed a crazy episode. I don't think I would have forgotten any of this.
Exactly.
I totally would have remembered this.
I feel like this would have really resonated with me in some way. But I think that was and the show regularly will do things like that where it surprises you, and I think this is the first time that I was surprised in like a sort of blown away sort of way.
Yeah, whenever I come across this one on a rewatch, because this is another one of those ones where I kind of forget about it when I'm not like in the rewatch mode. But when I come back to it, this is this is high up there for me in season 2. Like, it's not my favorite one of season 2. We might be talking about that one next week. We might not. Who knows? But this one would be close to the top. Just because it's just that perfect level of just, like, absurdist humor. Like, it's not just the pyramid stuff either. Like, everything with Rusty and Orpheus is still just insane.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely the funniest episode of season 2.
I don't know. Again, next
it might
week,
not have
overall
the
of
best...
what we've seen so far.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess for me, it's like it might not have the best jokes of season 2, but I think consistently throughout the episode, it has just tons and tons and tons of just like weird stuff. Like just the joke where Brok has got Edgar Allan Poe in a headlock, and afterwards he's like, "I've always wanted to do that." You're like, How, like, in what way did you always want to do that? Did you open up an Edgar Allan Poe book, look at the liner notes, and see his stupid face, and you were like, man, I'd love to give that guy a headlock? Like, it's so confusing.
I mean,
That thing is like a pumpkin.
Yeah, he kind of says that. He explains it right afterwards. Like, look at that thing.
I know, but, like, where did he come across that as in, I've always wanted to do that? How old was he? Was he 7?
27.
Yeah.
Yeah, or was this like a year-long thing? Like, did he just start getting into Poe, and he's like, I want to put this guy in a headlock?
Exactly.
My favorite subplot of the entire pyramid stuff, though, has to be Dean's head.
Yes.
They never explain how he gets beheaded, why he's walking around on a mummy. Like, and it's just so commonplace. And it's like, Hank, get your brother's head. Like, just nobody even cares.
No.
Yeah.
And there's so much in the episode that they just keep adding on to whenever they keep cutting back to what's happening in the pyramid. And every single time, it's just like, all right, I guess Caligula's back. I don't know.
They just keep adding more characters.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Including a second Brok. Like,
Yeah.
Who
You're gonna
has
kill-
to die, I guess? Because it never comes back?
yeah, that
Or is
never,
there just a second Brok running loose?
That would be in part 3 if he does, because there's 2 of them at the end.
Exactly.
yeah. So I'm sure he
So-
dies in part 3, or
He
goes
has
back
to.
to his original timeline.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Weird.
Who knows? Honestly, there's no point in us trying to figure
It's one
it
of those
out.
who knows, and clearly they don't care because they never mention it. Like,
No.
nothing in this episode really ever comes back. I don't think.
No,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think so at all. I think Mum Muggy never comes back. Neither does the Perfect Man. Caligula definitely doesn't come back.
No, I'd remember that.
Edgar Allan Poe's dead.
Yeah, I'm looking through our Brock's notes, and yeah, there's like connections. The only real connection to anything outside of this is the shrink ray that he sold to Mintag Silurate.
Yeah. And I think that they have a few other things where it's like I think the only stuff that ever comes back is outside of the pyramid.
Yeah.
Because obviously we see Dr. Orpheus's master again.
Yeah,
We see
a
him
few
one more time.
We see
Maybe
more than once.
2 more times?
We see him, I think,
I
a
guess
few
he does
times.
come
We
back
see him more than
later in later seasons.
Yeah.
And then Triana's subplot with the door itself also comes back.
Oh yeah,
That's one of my favorite moments in this episode. I've always been scared of that closet.
See,
Why do you think I wear the same thing every day?
Oh, it's so good.
see, for me, that part's always bugged me. My whole life, I've been scared of that closet. You've lived here for like a year and a half.
Well,
Yes, but
yeah.
I think that what she's. I mean, it is a weird one. I agree with Bryan. It doesn't make sense, but I think
mean,
that what
she
they're
could
trying
just
to
be-
say is,
exaggerating, but
yeah.
I just,
But also, I think that he probably has put the closet in her room almost every single time.
yeah.
I guess.
Like every time they move.
But isn't
or
there a
something.
line about like why it had to be in her closet? Like she
Yeah,
had
it
to have
has
a
to be
private-
on the south side.
Yeah.
And
So-
yeah, it has to be on the south side. And since you needed the private bathroom, this is what happened. So unless
Yeah.
that's happened every time they've moved somewhere, which I guess is possible, I'm calling bullshit on this line. That's it.
they
It's
about-
fair.
Venture Brothers sucks. I'm out.
I don't know.
This was,
I mean, they
wow,
probably
this is where
only.
Bryan drew the line.
This was just too much.
This was it in this episode.
I mean,
of-
they probably only lived one other place before this, because before this, he was married, right?
Yeah.
So
but
they probably
she
lived in
still
one house.
says that closet. I'm gonna let it go.
No, but I think Bryan is right. But this is like the Goliath serum thing for me, where
Yes.
I was like, I just refuse to back down from this. This makes no sense. Yeah, this is Bryan's Goliath serum.
It really is.
All right.
I'd forgot
All
about the Goliath theorem.
Ugh.
How would they know? It doesn't matter.
Yep. But I do like that moment because it does show, like, I think it's the first time that you kind of see Dr. Orpheus frustrated with Triana. I think because he's, like, wrapped up in this whole thing with Dr. Venture, where he's just, like, he puts her to sleep, which is absurd. And then...
I think we've seen him frustrated with her before, but we've never seen him to the point where it's like, oh, God, just go away. Like, because I think
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of the, like, a parent frustrated, you know, like where it's
Sure.
like I love you through gritted teeth, like I will do anything, but this is the first time where he snaps, and it's just like, oh my god, just fuck off for a minute, I need to go in your closet.
Exactly.
H. John Benjamin,
Amazing.
he's
Incredible.
always amazing, and like that's the problem, is that he's always amazing, and he's always the same character to a extent. Like Bob and Archer in this, they're all kind of similar in their own way, but this might be my favorite one of all of them.
100%.
Like,
this is my first introduction to him as, I guess, an actor at
As
all.
a voice, yeah.
I guess.
I think so too. Like chronology, like of my life, like looking at this stuff. Yeah, I think so.
When did Wet Hot American Summer come out?
That
was
probably
2001,
around
so-
this time or before.
Yeah, it was before,
But
so-
I never realized that the can was H. John Benjamin.
I mean,
until
I knew the can was one of my favorite characters, but I didn't know, like, I never put, like, who is this comedic actor to it, but that was probably my first, like, man, it's weird that in this very funny movie, my favorite thing is a talking can of soup. Or vegetables,
true.
sorry. But that just speaks to H. John Benjamin. Like, he's so good. And, like, he has nothing to do in this episode, really, other than just be a three-headed dog. But he's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like, just the...
And even with this, we cut back and, you know, cut away and cut back to, like, this lesson that Dr. Orpheus is supposed to be learning. And we're like, what is this lesson? Like, he's learning that he is small already? I don't know.
I guess.
Yeah.
I never really picked up on it, because I'm always just kind of distracted by, like, the three-headed dog of it all. Like, it's just like...
Yeah. And all of the dog moments with the leg kicking and the
Exactly. Like, no matter
other
what they're
stuff.
talking about, they take me out of it so hard with comedic beats, and it's like, it's not a problem. It's a very good problem to have. But I'm like, if you were just saying anything important, you totally lost me with the, oh, man, he's just licking my crotch right now. It feels so good. Downside is I can taste it. I'm tasting my crotch. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean, I guess the lesson is at the end of the day, both of them feel small emotionally, but they're not small physically. But that's a weird lesson it's just belittling Dr. Orpheus the whole time. That's the whole thing. It's just talking down to him and making him feel bad for his failed marriage.
Aww.
But isn't that what he kind of always does? Like, he even shows up
Yes.
once, like,
Yeah.
as his hot, sexy wife, just to prove that, like, you can't have her. Like, it's... The Master's kind of a dick to Orpheus. Like, clearly he's, like, going
Totally.
for tough love. Like, I don't think it's, like, malicious, but he's kind of an ass.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he loves him for sure because he says that he's his best pupil, but
Yeah.
he definitely says his biggest problem is his ego and his, his full of himselfness and trying to win and save the world and all that. It's like, yeah, and then when you would turn off, then you would just become Mr. Rogers and then do some other crazy stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, so.
I do like the subplot of... we started it back in the beginning of the season with the boys being clones, but I do like that subplot of magic versus science. That's kind of like a running theme between Rusty and Orpheus, because it's... and they never really settle that argument. Like, they constantly... I think that's why they're never as good of friends as Orpheus wishes they were.
Yes.
Because
No, I do love this argument.
Yeah.
And I do love that we keep going back to it because, I mean, especially, and we've talked about it before, is like we either usually get one or the other. Like in this fantasy world, like stuff that we watch, it's either, ghosts and paranormal and, other, or magic and all this other stuff, like Lord of the Rings or whatever, and then you've got, science fiction, and then they go full bore onto that. You rarely, if never, get them in the same thing, and especially in this where they actually go head to head of like, all right, let's try to become the smallest person.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And I love that they both fail. Like, it's like the one thing that nobody can figure out, other than they really fuck up Billy Quizboy. Like,
Yeah.
like,
I have never tasted the flower.
oh my god.
What are you talking?
Can we talk about that whole situation?
I mean,
Because
I think we have
it's
to.
amazing. I I have definitely gone on record to say that I think Pete White is a terrible, terrible human being.
Oh, absolutely.
So is Rusty, and then both of them combined, taking shots at what is arguably one of the few good human beings in the show is incredible. They are so mean. Like, it is, like, it never occurred to me until I watched it recently, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
They're the worst.
They shrink his lungs, and then Rusty just, like, unleashes this, like, hellish fart.
I can't breathe. Oh, just wait. It'll be to you soon. You shrunk my lungs.
The guilty pleasure thing also just, like, makes me so sad.
Oh,
especially with the
so uncomfortable.
The revelation later that he is a virgin. It's just like, this is the saddest. Oh my god.
Billy does not have a good time in this episode. Like, he just gets screwed over. I love, like, this super big version of him, and like, oh, it looks like Tobey Maguire hulked out. Like,
oh, it's so good. Oh.
But you do you have to feel for him a little bit, because it's like, these are his best friends.
Yeah.
Like, these horrible people are his best friends. And, like, I love Pete White whenever he shows up, but, like, I would never want to spend any time with him ever, because he's just the worst. But what does it say, like, when you're that bad, when you say your best friend is Rusty Venture? It's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine. And you don't get to see it very often. Like, the two of them actually being friends, actually Rusty being friends with really anyone but Brok, you rarely get to see. So it's kind of nice to have that little reprieve.
For sure. I actually think that, like, one of the strengths of this season, we've talked about it a few times in a few different episodes, is their pairings. We talked about it with Brok and Phantom Limb. I mean, like, the chemistry they had together was incredible. Then the chemistry that you have with the three of them is great. It's an amazing dynamic that works really, really well, in spite of the fact that Billy has to take every shot in the entire episode.
Oh, poor Billy Quizboy.
Oh.
And especially, his one request of, like, let me go, like, find a hooker or something. Just anything before you start firing experimental lasers at my head. And they're like, I vote the virgin. Seconded, let's do this. Like, fuck.
God.
And I don't even consider it murder, since you haven't been you haven't lived. So it's basically just a very late abortion. You're like, motherfuck.
And then at the end of the episode, Billy's like, you're the reason I became a boy scientist. You're like, this guy? This monster? Oh my god.
But realistically, no, not this guy. It was the kid. It was Rusty Venture. It was I mean, you look at the box, and you look at the face of Rusty on the pterodactyl and all of that, and yes, that is Billy Quizboy. That inquisitive, that full of light, full of wonder, having the time of his life, really. I mean, that's kind of what the rest of the show is that the time of Rusty's or Dr. Venture's life was the best when his dad was around, really. And now this is him just trying to, compile together a life that's kind of worth living. And, I mean, so that's the boy that Billy Quizboy, admires, is that full of light kid. Not this terribly broken monster man that is now shrinking his lungs.
Yes.
But I do think he still admires Rusty in a way. Like, he might not be looking up to him as a hero anymore.
Yeah.
But like, it's
tough.
It's really tough for Billy to take off the rose-colored glasses when he looks at Rusty.
Yeah. I think, honestly, it's hard for a lot of people to take off those rose-colored glasses because everyone just looks at Rusty and either sees one of two things. They either see him as a boy adventurer or his dad. Yeah. It's like either it's the name, it's one or the other, his first or his last name, and that's who people see.
Yeah, like,
interesting. Because
you kind of get that throughout the majority of the show, all the way up to like season 6 and 7, like where he kind of has to start taking over for JJ. But like up until then, people give him respect based on who he is, not on what he is, because he is horrible. But everyone still kind of loves him because his dad was super impressive and he was a boy adventurer. So it's kind of a fun thing, and it really explains why Billy's there the whole time.
Yeah, and in this universe, I mean, who else do they have? Action Johnny?
Yeah.
It's like...
Isn't he
I don't think there's anybody else.
Isn't he still Johnny Quest at this point? Is he Action Johnny yet?
Yeah. He's still Johnny Quest.
Yeah, he doesn't turn.
Okay.
He turns to Action Johnny for another few episodes.
Okay.
But
still,
It's still no. I think we should still call him Action Johnny because that's
it's such a better name.
yes.
But no, totally. Like your heroes are few and far between, and most of them are addicted to drugs. So I guess we have Rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he's not. Yeah, he's terrible, but he's not the worst.
But he's Rusty.
Exactly.
There's a good future joke.
I have one moment I want to bring up. Can we talk about the... We need to talk about the opening montage, because I do think it's one of the strongest parts of the episode, because it's just so out of nowhere. Or are we going to talk about it later?
No, I'd say this would be a good point, because I think we're kind of circling the drain on what to talk about. And if we got to talk about the opening moment, we got to talk about my favorite line in this entire thing, because it's not a pop culture reference. At least I don't think it is, so I can throw it in here.
Yes, this was also my shameless reason to bring it up.
Oh my! I hope we have the same moment. But when you have he's firing the gun at Brok, and then he throws the gun after him, and just looks at him. You know I have more bullets. I know. It just looks so cool. Well, go get it.
Well, go get it.
Yeah. This is, I think, one of the first times we bonded over this show was talking about that moment. Mine is actually, I think, right after that, where the guy has the axe over what is, I'm assuming, an unconscious Dean and Hank, and he's like, "Give me the hand of Osiris," and Rusty just responds with, "Give me head." And it's just like,
What?
you
Are you
didn't
serious?
just say that.
Yeah. I'm about to kill your sons.
Get in line.
Join the club.
Get in line.
Is it join the club or let's join in club? Join the club.
Yeah.
Join the club. Yeah.
It's when I first heard that, I was like, how did they get away with putting that on TV? Like, I am so shocked. And it is so disarming. Like, I honestly feel like it's one of those moments where if I was that guy about to kill two of this guy's sons and he was just said, "Give me head," I would just be like, I give up. I don't know what to do about this at all.
That's what I mean. Like, as much as I love this episode, I still kind of wish we saw part one. Like, I know it wouldn't make sense, because clearly it doesn't make sense, but the parts that you see are just so good.
Yes.
Yeah. I would really love to spend all three parts in this Escape to the House of Mummies, because it's great. And even Dr. Orpheus is, jumps into it of
using Dean's erection as a divining rod.
Oh my god. Think of making out with my daughter!
She's using her tongue!
That's so gross.
Such a weird episode. It's such a weird episode. It's also got like something that they clearly knew didn't quite work, but they were going to do it anyway, which is like fill the mouth with hot oil. And he's like, "I thought you said hot voil." And you're just like, it's like a Norm Macdonald joke. This doesn't really make sense, but okay.
What do you mean boil? It's like a sheer cloth. I put some in the dryer. What the hell?
Oh, that's so weird.
Look, that's the worst henchman ever in a show of nothing but bad henchmen.
Yes.
And then I love, I think it's either before that or immediately after it. I'm assuming it's Osiris. He's like, "And now I've got..." Oh, wait, hold on. Hasha! Oh, there's spit everywhere. Oh, and it smells like a wet cat.
That's so good.
It is the weirdest episode, but it's so, like, everything just works. It's one of those, like, it's like, that's why we're all into this show. Like, one of those, like, none of this should work. It all totally does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we want to move into pop culture references?
Yeah.
Is it that time? I think it's that time.
It's that time for me.
All right. I'm going to go first, because mine, I didn't even really consider it a pop culture reference until I was looking at Brock's notes, and I'm like, oh, no, Brock's right. It was a pop culture reference, and it fucking kills me every time. When they find Dean's severed head, just sitting there talking, like, Dean, what happened? Yeah, Clarissa, explain it all.
Yes. I use that all the time in my head.
It's so good. And I was stuck between that and another one, but if you guys don't talk about the other one, then I'll mention that one as well. But go ahead.
I think I might know what the next one is, but this is technically in part 3 at the very end of the episode, when I think Hank is in Brock's arms, freezing to death because they're out.
Yeah. Okay. This was my other one. Perfect.
He's like, I'm gonna die. And then is it Poe?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Brock says to Brock to cut Poe open because apparently he has died, and so cut his corpse open, and he's gonna stuff Hank inside him just to keep him warm. And so he does. So Brock slices him open. He's like, "Oh God, I thought they smelled bad on the outside." Obviously, a reference to Star Wars, but I just thought, oh my God, what a crazy way to bring that in here.
It's so
Cutting
good.
Edgar Allan Poe open to shove Hank inside of him into freezing wherever the hell they are now.
I love it.
It's great.
It's so good. All right, Nick, what about you?
Mine, I would just say, is Caligula. It's not quite pop culture, but it definitely is pulled from the awful 70s movie. It's just Caligula. Caligula being revolting, and that's the whole thing. It's like, yeah, okay, great, he was a disgusting person.
When they try to team Caligula up with somebody, like,
Yeah.
oh, never mind.
Brock's like, never mind, Caligula's with me and me. And then Scuba Brock comes up.
I think he even told Caligula to take the whole second wave by himself.
Yep.
Probably. Imagine, like, what a nightmare. I mean, like, we didn't really get to talk about it, but briefly, imagine what a nightmare it must have been for the whole thing. Like, nothing must have made sense. Oh,
I mean,
it's great.
That's what.
And Brock must have been so pissed off.
Brock
Like,
loses
where
it
is-
so early, like beyond, like before Caligula and Edgar Allan Poe and everything. When the mummy's head falls off, is where he loses it. This is getting stupid.
I think the episode ends with him screaming to the heavens, "Doc!" So I think he's still upset.
Yep. I think it even starts like when we jump in and they're in the closing room with the spikes and everything. I think at that point he's really starting to lose it.
Yes.
Because, Rusty is like, I mean, I don't know. There's really nothing we can do. We can't call. I don't want to call Dr. Orpheus. And so Brock's like, okay, all right, boys, line yourselves up. Stick your heads where the spikes are. So no point bleeding to death.
Great.
Oh, it's so good. All right, well, I think it's time for plugs. Or actually, yeah, it's time for plugs. I will go first. Mine's the obvious one. It's the easy one. After the Hype. Be sure to check us out there. The next 2 episodes we have that we're recording soon are a battle episode in honor of the new Venom movie coming up, of all spin-off movies that have been spun off of other franchises. And then we have A Quiet Place, which will be an entire episode of silence. I'm kidding. It won't be.
It'll be about as riveting as the actual movie.
Hey,
Yeah.
I liked A Quiet Place, but that's okay.
I liked it too, yeah. But I think it's funny. I saw Hereditary after it, and I was like, I think Hereditary is more quiet than Quiet Place is.
I have not seen it yet. I need to see it.
It's pretty good.
That's what I've heard. Nick, you still plugging that game?
Yep. I was working on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is coming out soon, so pick it up.
Do we
That's it.
pick it up and buy it, or just like pick it up and put it back down and leave?
Yeah,
the
no, you
store?
could probably just pick it up and take a look at it and go, yeah,
This
the
probably
cellophane's
sounds
pretty
good.
interesting, and then just put it back.
Yeah.
Perfect. Graham, you plugging anything these days?
I'm currently on a podcast, the Venture Brothers podcast.
Oh, that
Pretty
sounds
cool.
like a good podcast. I love that show.
Yeah, it's all about the Venture Brothers.
Never heard of it.
We're currently in season 2, so yeah, it's pretty cool.
Venture Brothers
You
in
guys should
season
check it
2,
out.
or your show's in season 2?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Can't wait to listen to it. I'm just gonna say bye. That seems like the best thing to do, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.